Good morning, friend. Welcome back to Acre Homestead. My name is Becky if you're new. Today, we are going to plan for the 4th of July. Today is July 3rd. Last minute yesterday, we decided we're having a 4th of July barbecue at our house. And I need to go run into town and see if I can find an umbrella for some shade. So I need to empty this truck so that if I find an umbrella, I can put it in this truck. And of course, I've got a white shirt on and I never emptied this compost that I bought the other day. So let's see if I can get this compost out of the truck without getting my shirt dirty. And I have to figure out where I want to put it. Hang in here. I should probably put an apron on. Right, that's better. Okay. I think I did it. I think I managed to get all that compost out of the back of the truck without getting my shirt dirty. We'll see how long this lasts. I do have some coffee in here, so I'm probably bound to spill that on myself. I've got 2 grocery lists here. So over the weekend, today's Monday, tomorrow's the 4th of July. Over the weekend, I was talking to my sister-in-law and I asked her, do you have plans for the 4th? I don't know about you, but for some reason, this 4th of July just crept up on me. It came out of nowhere, even though it's on the 4th of July every year. My parents are out of town, my in-laws are out of town, so no one was planning anything. So we never really had plans. So I was hanging out with my sister-in-law and I said, hey, do you have plans? She said, no. Do you want to come over? She said, yes. Then I text a friend, then I text my sister. And so this party has just kind of evolved and I'm hosting it. So I already got some of the stuff, not knowing that I got stuff last time we went to the grocery store together. I picked up a bunch of hamburger buns and hot dog buns, and I meant to have that for Josh and I, but I thought that would be perfect for the 4th of July. So we're going to have hamburgers and brats from the local hog that I got. And then I'm going to make a bunch of sides. I'm going to make a cherry tart. We're going to make homemade Caesar dressing with homemade croutons. We are going to have brats and burgers. We're going to make loaded baked potato salad, which sounds delicious. We are going to, I think I was going to make one more thing. Our cherry tart, cream, and then to make my life easier, people asked if they could bring stuff. My sister-in-law is going to bring chips and baked beans. My sister is bringing herself and her family. I don't think she's bringing anything. And then my friend, she is bringing some homemade adult beverages and some homemade kid beverages because there's going to be probably more kids than adults. And so the first thing I'm going to do is go run to the store, pick up just the couple items I need, but we're going to run to Costco and see if I can find an umbrella for shade because we don't have very much shade in our backyard. I doubt they still have them. We should have gotten the umbrellas when they had them, but if they don't, we'll just make it work. But I figured since I had to go into town to get some groceries, I might as well see if I can get an umbrella, and I needed the back of the truck emptied so that if they have umbrellas, I can fit it in the back of the truck. So here we go. We're heading to Costco and the store. I also want to pick up some fun 4th of July decorations. I've never hosted the 4th of July before, so I own zero zilch nothing. And so we'll see if I can find some fun napkins or plates or something. Nothing fancy. I just got to Costco, and on my way here I had this thought: if Costco does not have umbrellas, it's supposed to be in the mid-90s tomorrow, which is toasty, so we need shade. And my sister's coming. I know that they've got a bunch of canopies that are really easy to set up. So I called her and I said, if I can't find umbrellas, could you bring your canopies over tomorrow? And she said yes. Or I could pick them up today, actually, so I could get them set up today for tomorrow. So I have a little less stress knowing that we're gonna get shade for tomorrow's party, but I would still like to get some umbrellas if possible because Josh and I would like to be able to have umbrellas to sit out there. I don't always do this, but today I felt like I needed a little pick-me-up before we go shopping. So I got myself a latte freeze, I think that's what they're called. And of course, the first thing I see is the plants. And I've been talking about getting a fiddly fig for a while, and they had them for $28.99, which is a fantastic price for this, I don't know, about 3-foot tall tree. So I'm looking through them and I'm trying to find one that looks the healthiest and I like the way the branches look. I am on a mission to start collecting indoor plants. One of the gifts that was brought over when I had a friend bring a meal right after I had the baby was a Christmas cactus. And I have kept that Christmas cactus alive since December. So I think I'm going to branch out and try to learn how to keep this fiddly fig alive. I did a bunch of research and it is one of the hardest things to keep alive. It said if you are a new houseplant owner, this is probably not the one for you. I bought it anyway. We're going to see if we can get it to work. And here are some beautiful dahlias. I didn't get any dahlias, but I did pick up this fiddly fig and we're going to see if we can keep it alive. So now we're going to go get the groceries we came for. It looks like where they had the umbrellas, it's all camping stuff now. So I am out of luck for an umbrella. So that's too bad. We will look online to see if we can get one online because I like the quality of the ones here. We should have bought them when we were here a while ago. We just didn't. And now they don't have them. So maybe Costco online has them. They do have canopies. I don't see us using canopies often enough to go ahead and purchase that. So I'll just borrow my sister's canopies and then we'll hopefully be able to find some online. And I realized I forgot my list. And so let's see if I can remember everything I need without my list. Some dining room tables. Those are kind of pretty. We have a lot of couches right now and furniture. On the last Shop With Me video, you all were very surprised that I was able to stick to my list. Well, I don't always stick to my list, and today I'm going to pick up a few things that were not on my list, but still things that I think are needed. And here is one. Coming to Costco the day before a holiday is craziness, even though it's Monday. So let me show you what I got. My grocery haul is pretty small. I think I have everything that was on my list. I'm hoping that my list is in the car, so when I run to the car and we run to Fred Meyer's after this to get some cute decorative napkins and things for the 4th of July, that if I forgot anything here, I'll be able to get it at Kroger. Pretty simple grocery haul. For the loaded baked potato salad, I needed sour cream. I've never got sour cream here before, and this is kind of cool. All the ingredients on this are live active cultures, and so it's cultured milk, cream, and enzymes, and it actually has probiotics in it, which is pretty cool. So that's the first time I'm getting that, and I'm excited for that. I got some heavy cream, some half and half, and I needed peanut butter just because we don't have any peanut butter in the house. I also needed some more mayonnaise, so I grabbed a mayonnaise. I have cheese in the house, but I really wanted orange cheese for the potato salad, so I picked that up. That won't go to waste. Chicken, not for tomorrow, just because we have 0 chicken in the freezer right now. So I got that, and then I was gonna make homemade croutons, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna let Costco take care of that for me because I didn't start any bread last night. I was gonna start a loaf of no-knead bread to make the croutons out of. I never got to it. I totally forgot about it. So Costco is making the croutons for us. And then I got my fiddly fig. So let's go check out. I thought I would just show you that here so that as soon as we get home, we can hit the ground running and we can prep the food. That was a very productive trip to Costco. Let's see if I can get this thing in here without damaging it. All right, we didn't lose any leaves. I got my grocery list here. I haven't looked over it to see if I forgot anything. Cream, sour cream, half and half, mayo, croutons, orange cheese. We got everything. Plates, napkins, forks, and sweet. So I got everything. Awesome. Okay, let me put my cart back and then we are gonna head to Kroger. I think that's the... Oh no! I don't know. There's raspberry on me. I have no idea where the raspberry came from. I did not buy raspberries. Must have been on the cart or something. That's too bad. I was wondering how long it would last wearing this white shirt. I'm gonna have to go home and change. I just got home and I stopped at my sister's house on the way home to get this canopy. So we'll set this up probably tomorrow. It's a little bit windy right now, so I think that if I set it up right now, it might blow away. So I'm really grateful that we're gonna be able to have some shade tomorrow for the party. Now I need to unload this. We're gonna go inside. We're gonna make our cherry tart, our loaded baked potato salad. I wanna make a fry sauce because we're just having regular hamburgers, so I thought it would be fun to make a fry sauce and to go on the burgers, not on fries because we're not making fries. And there's one more thing I thought. Oh, our Caesar dressing. I also decided not to go and buy napkins and things. I've got enough cloth napkins for everybody for tomorrow. And so 1, I really didn't want to stop at another store. And 2, I don't really want to spend the money on it. So we're just going to use what we have, and I think that will be fine. I don't think my family or friends will mind that I don't have any 4th of July themed things. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I think, is get our potatoes cooking, and then we're gonna make the cherry tart first. And I thought I had more potatoes than this. This is probably 2.5 pounds of potatoes. Should we go harvest some potatoes and see if we have any in the garden? These need to be used up. I bought these like a month ago at Costco, and they're still really, really firm. Nothing looks soft on them or anything. But we're gonna have 6 adults, I think, and only 3 kids that are like of eating age. So I'm trying to think, should I go harvest a thing of potatoes? Well, I need to harvest some stuff for this food prep. So let me get these in all these groceries put away, and then we will go out into the garden. So I need the sour cream and the mayonnaise first thing. I went to the farmer's market over the weekend to get cherries for the cherry tart that we're gonna make. So let's go harvest some potatoes. Here is the potato bed that we are going to start harvesting from. These potatoes are not quite ready to technically harvest yet. When you know your potatoes are ready to harvest is when the plants themselves start to die. The first time I grew potatoes, I was getting so incredibly stressed because my plants were dying and I couldn't figure out what was happening. And little did I know that's actually what you want. What will happen is you plant your potato, it'll grow, it'll flower, and then the flowers will die back, and then the whole plant will die back, and that is when you are supposed to harvest. So this plant here, I chose to harvest this one because the flowers have already died, and so I'm assuming that this plant is more ready to harvest than some of the other potatoes I have out here. Harvesting potatoes are one of mine and my dad's absolute favorite garden chores to do. I wouldn't even consider it a chore activity. It was so fun on this day getting out here and harvesting them. But they were incredibly deep, these potatoes, and so I had to dig quite a bit in order to get to the potato themselves. Right here, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there's not one potato, and then bam, there is a potato, and she's so pretty. And then I just keep digging, and I realize they are really deep. So when we actually go to harvest this entire bed, it is going to be a labor of love, and I am looking forward to it. So I do have a zinnia plant right here in the corner of this bed. That's a zinnia flower, and I am trying to not disturb its roots as much as possible, and I'm trying to get to the base of these potatoes. I almost gave up and was like, I don't think I'm going to get any more than these few potatoes I have on the edge of the garden bed, but I keep digging and I find a couple more down there. And it was kind of funny. So like I was saying, the first time I planted potatoes, I thought that there was something wrong with my plants because they were dying. Well, Josh and I were out in the garden yesterday, and he's like, I think there's something wrong with some of your potato plants. And I said, nope, they are actually supposed to die. So it's kind of interesting if you've never grown them before that is their life cycle. So I'm also harvesting my very first slicing tomato of the year, which is a great, exciting thing. And then we need some romaine lettuce for the Caesar salad. We've been able to eat off this romaine. It's more than we can eat multiple times a week. There is so much abundance here. If you have a really, really small space for gardening, grow lettuce because it will produce for you. It's super easy to grow and you can harvest off it so many times. Because I'm only breaking off the top leaves, what will happen is this plant will continue to set off more leaves. So now we're back inside and we are going to get all of these goodies washed up. Where I live, it's usually mid-July before the garden starts really producing a lot, and a lot of different varieties. Like I said, we've been having as much lettuces we want. We can have as much kale as we want. What else have we been harvesting? Radishes, onion greens, peas. But now that it's mid-July, when I'm talking to you, the garden is producing so much abundance. And it's so funny because I was thinking, because I watch other people who have gardens that are more in southern climates. And in southern climates, peppers have already been ready for a while, and zucchini has already been ready for a while. In some cases, zucchini is already done for the summer. And I do tend to get a little discouraged thinking, oh my goodness, is my garden not going to produce, or am I ever going to get it? And it's just a matter of time. And the cool thing about where we live is typically I can keep harvesting peppers and things out of the garden until mid-October. Last year, the garden season for me was cut a little short because we moved in August. We've still got a great abundance from the garden, but there was definitely a lot that was left in the garden. And so it's going to be fun to watch an entire year in the garden this year and see how long we can have the abundance go for. I am working on a fall garden. So yesterday I actually just started a bunch of seeds, which is kind of crazy. I've never done that before. I started a bunch of fall crops, and I'm excited to see if we can get a fall crop of a couple different cold hardy vegetables. That's going to be really fun. And then I found this mini greenhouse. I could link it down below, but we'll set it up together when I get it. I haven't ordered it yet, but it's this mini glass greenhouse that you can put in a raised bed. And I'm going to experiment this year trying to grow lettuce greens not all winter. Where I live, we're too cold in the winter, I think, because we're such a high elevation compared to our last house. But I think we will be able to have greens well into the fall. So I got all this washed up, and now we get to go ahead and start doing some cooking. I was able to get the lettuce in the refrigerator, so that is already done for me, and we've got all the veggies prepped. We're gonna get going on the cherry galette now. I've got the cherries washed, so we need to get them pitted, and I've got a cutting board out here. I don't really do very much with cherries ever. Cherries are not my favorite fruit, but I was watching Instagram Reels, of course, and this recipe popped up that was a cherry galette that has an almond paste bottom. And Josh is Dutch, and almond paste is pretty popular and common in Dutch desserts. There's this Dutch Christmas dessert called Bonket that we have every Christmas, and it has almond paste in it. And I used to not like it at all. And after being with Josh, we've been together for over 10 years, 10 Christmases. I've had Bonket every Christmas, and I've fallen in love with it. So I saw this Instagram reel where we're gonna make a galette that has almond paste and then cherries on the top, and it was absolutely beautiful. So I thought that the cherries would be really pretty, and it would be a good flavor combination, the almond paste with the cherries. So we're gonna make that today, and we're gonna serve it with some whipped cream. And I think that if I make it today, it will still be really good for tomorrow. So I'm just gonna take these cherries, I'm gonna take a minute, and I'm going to cut them in half and take all the pits out of them. I don't want anyone to bite into a pit. I already have the crust made. I pulled one of my pre-made pie crusts out of the freezer. So the only thing we have to do for this galette is make the almond paste. And the reel that I saw when I went to look at the recipe was not in English and it was in metric. And so I am gonna just take my almond paste recipe and I'm gonna adapt that. And so I'm kind of making this recipe up with different recipes that I know, and I'm gonna put them together in the same order that I saw online. I think that's enough. If I need to cut a few more, I can. I think I want to move on to making the almond paste. And before I do anything else, I want to grab some garlic out of the freezer. I know I need garlic for some garlic for the Caesar dressing, and I don't want it frozen. This is the homegrown garlic from last summer. I don't want to touch it either because I don't want my hands to get garlicky. This is a little bowl that has a lid, and we'll just stick that garlic puck in there, and we'll make the Caesar dressing in just a bit. And that, you know what, I think I'm gonna get 2 out because I'm gonna make that fry sauce. I forgot about that, and I want some garlic for that too. Set those there, let those thaw. Those are only gonna take a minute to thaw while we make our almond paste. I do have a few more cherries here that if I need to cut, I can. I've got my pastry out. Let's see, let's make the almond paste next. I'm gonna make the almond paste from scratch. You can buy this, but it is super expensive at my grocery store. And so I can make it for a fraction of the price. So I'm going to start with 1 egg, 1 cup of almond flour, a little bit of almond extract. You don't wanna use too much of this. I'm kind of making this up because the recipe that I have for almond paste makes 3 cups, and that's way more than I need for what we're doing here. I'm gonna add a splash of vanilla, 1/3 cup of white sugar, 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, and a good pinch of salt. Now I'm gonna whisk this together until it's nice and smooth. I may have to add 1 more egg white to this. We'll just see what consistency we get here. Nope, that looks good. At my local grocery store, almond paste for a little 8-ounce jar is almost $10. This probably cost me, I mean, almond flour is kind of pricey too, but I bought this a long time ago. I keep this in my freezer, and this probably cost me $1 maybe to make. So now that we've got that done, I'm just gonna push that to the side. I want to roll out our pastry. Now, the video that I watched that made this, they had this really beautiful rolling pin. I just have a regular rolling pin, and it had all this really like flowery indentation on it, so it made a really pretty design on the crust. But we're just gonna use a good old-fashioned rolling pin, and I think that this is gonna be pretty enough that I don't need to go and get a fancy rolling pin. I'm almost out of flour in here. So I'm gonna roll out this pastry. Galettes are so easy, and they're so impressive looking if you've never made one before. They're like an open-faced pie, and you can do it with any fruit, and if you have your own homemade crust in the freezer, you can whip this together really quickly. Or if you have a store-bought crust. This was frozen this morning, and I threw this crust in the freezer, or in the refrigerator, right before I left for the store. I forgot I was gonna buy slivered almonds when I went to Kroger, but I decided not to go to Kroger. And so we'll just skip that. I was gonna use that just as kind of decoration on the top, but that's okay. If you want, you could cut around the outside to have a smooth edge. I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna keep it nice and rustic. I'm gonna take my almond paste and put it on the bottom of this. The video I watched, they piped it on, but I'm just gonna use a spatula and do it like this. This works just as well. I think this was the perfect amount. I want to leave about 1.5 inch border around the outside. I do not want my pastry warming up in this kitchen, so while we do the next step for this, I'm going to pop this in the refrigerator so it stays cool. And I'm going to use this bowl that we made the almond paste in so we don't dirty up another bowl. And I'm going to put our cherries in here. I'm going to taste one of these cherries to see how sweet they are, so I know how much sugar to add. Wow, those are pretty sweet. I don't think they need too much sugar, but I think I am going to add just a little bit, maybe a couple tablespoons. And then I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of flour. That's just going to help the juices kind of create a nice sauce, and we'll toss this together. I don't know if they did this in the original recipe, but anytime I make a galette, I always add a little bit of sugar and a little bit of flour to it. Now this is the fun part. We are going to go ahead and decorate and lay these cherries out. You could just pile all of this on here, but I'm gonna take the time to lay them out because that is what inspired me to make this, was when they were laying out the cherries so beautifully. I thought, you know what? That is something I want to do. I think galettes are a great thing to know how to make, especially for a dinner party, because they are so easy to make and they are so beautiful. You will impress anybody you serve this to, whether it's your family, a friend, a work party that you need to take it to, but it is so easy. You can make apple, raspberry, blueberry, whatever you want, roll your crust out, pile the fruit on top, and I'll show you how to bake it. Top it with some ice cream or whipped cream, and your family and friends will love it. So this right here is what turns it into a galette, is folding up the sides. I just have some coarse sugar here. This is just to make it look really beautiful. And it's gonna add a little bit of a crunch. This is where I was gonna add the slivered almonds, but I didn't pick any up, which is fine because I have this, and that way I didn't have to buy anything. Maybe we'll put a little bit on the top too. Before I bake this, I'm gonna pop this in the fridge for 15 minutes or so just to chill that butter one more time so that when it goes into the really, really hot oven, it's nice and chilled. Our potatoes are probably done and ready to make the rest of the potato salad. Oh yeah, those are done. Hopefully I didn't overcook them. While those cool, let's make the dressing for the potato salad. This should be pretty easy. I'm really excited about this hosting of the 4th of July because I have never hosted the 4th of July before. And we, growing up, we're not super big into the 4th of July. In Oregon, where I grew up, fireworks, only little fireworks were legal, and so we never, blew a bunch of fireworks off or any, we didn't really have like a traditional thing that we did every single year. It kind of just depended on what was happening. And so it's kind of fun to host. This is what I'm gonna make my potato salad in because it's got a lid. I love these bowls. This was a gift and I use them all the time. So the dressing for this, I will link all these recipes down below. The galette is kind of a made up recipe. But I could type it up if it turns out well. I could type it up and share that with you. Let's see, so baked potato salad. 2 pounds of potatoes. That was probably 2 pounds. I probably really should have measured that, but I didn't. That's okay. The dressing for this potato salad is 4 ingredients. It's mayonnaise, salt, pepper, and sour cream. That is it. And then we're gonna add some really yummy goodies to it to make it a loaded baked potato salad. But all we need to do is mix this together. That couldn't have been any easier. While we're making dressings, I'm gonna go ahead and make the creamy Caesar dressing. This is my sister-in-law's recipe. This is the bowl I'm gonna keep the dressing in until I serve it tomorrow. We're gonna start with our garlic, and this is a creamy Caesar dressing. And then we're gonna get about a cup of mayonnaise, fresh lemon juice, that's probably good with those three. I can put this in there if we need to. Salt, pepper, some Dijon mustard, Worcestershire sauce, and some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna mix this together. Now I'm gonna give this a taste test. My sister-in-law traditionally makes this with anchovies or anchovy paste. That's what traditional Caesar dressing is made from. I don't have any of that, and you can substitute Worcestershire sauce, so that's what I did, because that's just what I had. I didn't want to buy anchovies just for this. That is delicious, so good. So what I'm gonna do is cover this. It doesn't need anything. It doesn't need any salt. It doesn't need any pepper. That is our dressing for tomorrow. I don't want to add any more lemon juice because I don't think it needs to be any tart or tangier, you know? I just ran out to the freezer and I grabbed some pre-cooked frozen bacon. I made this the other day, not knowing what it was for, just knowing that I like having pre-cooked bacon in my freezer. So we're gonna top our potato salad with this bacon, but these are just slices, so I need to get them kind of chopped up finely. So I have about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 pieces of bacon here. And I'm also gonna take a second and put a bunch of this stuff away because we don't need it anymore. Not all of it, we need some of it, like the salt and pepper, but a bunch of it we don't need. I'm gonna stick this bacon now in the inside freezer because easy access. I've got a bunch of stuff out here. I kind of just took everything out and threw it on the counter and I never put it away. So let's take a second to do a little bit of a reset. So we need the salt and pepper still. These two items go in the pantry. I'm gonna take my pre-cooked bacon and I'm gonna put a paper towel on the top and pop this in the microwave for about maybe a minute and a half. I do not want soft bacon to top this potato salad. I think that might be a little off-putting. I think we want really crunchy bacon. So I'm just gonna finish cooking it in the microwave and I'm gonna get this in the oven. So we need some cheese to go along with our potato salad. So I'm gonna get some cheese shredded. I just looked all over my kitchen for my cheese grater and I found it. You could definitely use white cheddar cheese, which that's normally what I have, but I thought that the orange would be a good contrast, so that's why I went and bought orange cheese, and it will not go to waste in our house. And then for a garnish to go on top, we have some green onions. Okay, these are perfectly cooked. I was worried there for a second that I overcooked them, but they are perfect. Oop. Now this bacon is super, super crispy. So I'm gonna get this diced up. So this feels like a good amount of salad for how many people are going to be here. I was a little worried that it wasn't going to be quite enough, but I think it's going to be good with all the other food that we're going to have. And I like making potato salad the day before if I can, because I do think it tastes better if it's able to sit for a while. So I think what I'm going to do is mix it up to that consistency. And I think I'm going to add about a handful of cheese, the green onions, and our bacon on the side here. So it's looking really beautiful, but I'm not gonna mix the cheese, the green onions, and the bacon in until tomorrow. So we're just gonna let that hang out like that. Maybe I'll put a little bit more cheese. A little extra cheese never hurt anyone. And the rest of the green onions, since I already chopped them. I do want to make cheeseburgers, and I don't have any pre-sliced cheese, so I'm going to slice some of this cheese up right now, and this is what we can put on the burgers if people want cheeseburgers. All my beeswax wrap is in the refrigerator being used, so I just grabbed a piece of plastic wrap, and we're going to wrap this cheese up for tomorrow. I'm just going to put it on the serving dish that we'll use tomorrow. Let me make it a little prettier. There we go. That looks nice. Simple. One of my rules to make a cooking day like this go smoothly is to start with a dishwasher that is empty, so I can load all these dishes as I go. Well, I did not do that today. So I just got the dishwasher unloaded. So now I can load all these dishes. We're gonna make one more dip, the sauce, and then I realized I forgot, I don't have any onions in my house. I used up all the onions that I bought from the local farmer. My bulb onions in the garden are not big enough, and I don't have any store-bought onions. So, and I also forgot to pick up propane. We had propane, but I could just see, you know, having a party, 4th of July, running out of propane. So I might send Josh to the store to get propane, and then maybe we just won't have onions on our burgers. I don't know. But what I do know is I'm gonna get this counter cleaned up. This is where you can really see my mind think. I'm trying to think of how can I get these dishes in the dishwasher with as few steps as possible. So I'm putting all the dishes on the cutting board. I'm gonna get those transferred over. I put a bunch of dishes in the colander, got that transferred over, and that's just the way my brain works. But sometimes when I do these big cooking days like this, if I don't take a moment halfway through to kind of reset the kitchen, it can get overwhelming to me. So that's what I'm just trying to do here, is kind of reset, get the condiments that I used back in the refrigerator, get the spices back on the shelf and in the cupboard, get the dishes in the dishwasher, and clean the counters. And then we can kind of reset, get going on the last little bit we need to do, and then I can think again. So that's what I'm doing here. Even though I am not completely done cooking, the fact that there's all this crumbs and things I'm looking at, it can feel overwhelming to me. So that's what we're doing, just kind of loving on the kitchen, giving it a little reset. I'm going to sweep and mop when we're all done. I feel a lot better about that. We got the kitchen kind of reset. We've got one more little thing we're going to make. And I just checked on the Gillette in the oven. It's not quite done yet, but it's almost done. And it smells incredible, and it's absolutely beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and make this dipping sauce / aioli, basically, fancy mayonnaise. I've got my little garlic puck here. We're gonna get this in the blender first. It's already nice and thawed. Now I can get this cutting board in the dishwasher. We're basically making an aioli, or mayonnaise dip. It's gonna be really good, I think. There's a burger place that we went to that had a fry sauce that I am kind of basing this off of. So we're gonna get some mayonnaise in here. I'm gonna make quite a bit of it because it's burger season, and so whatever we don't eat at the party, Josh and I can eat. And I think this would be really good on sweet potato fries. Oh my goodness, so good on sweet potato fries. To the mayonnaise, I'm gonna add Mama Lily peppers. These are a pickled pepper. They're not really spicy. I mean, they've got a little bit of heat to them, but not too much. And they're seasoned too. There's some herbs and things in here, and they're in oil. So I'm trying to get some of the oil out because I don't think we need all that oil. That's probably good. We'll start with that. Give that a blend and see how that tastes. The color of that is so pretty. I am gonna taste this, even though mayonnaise by itself is not my favorite thing, but I wanna make sure the seasoning's on point. I didn't add any salt and pepper, obviously. That is perfect. That is so good. It really is just like a vinegary, peppery, delicious, yummy sauce that was really easy. And there is a garlic taste to it. I'm kind of surprised I can't taste the garlic more, but that is gonna be really good on a burger. Let's check on our galette. I did put a piece of foil on it because it was getting a little dark. It's not quite bubbly, so we're gonna let that go for a couple more minutes. For dinner, the main course, I've said we're having burgers. So I grabbed out my serving dishes. This is the platter that I'm gonna put tomatoes and lettuce on, and the onions if I end up getting onions. And then from the freezer, I grabbed a bag of buns, both hot dog buns and hamburger buns. These are already thawed. I bought all these for Josh and I, not realizing I was gonna have a party, so I stuck those in the freezer. I pulled them out, we're gonna let them thaw and they'll be perfect for tomorrow. This is what I'm gonna have serve the burgers on, so I got this out for tomorrow. My tomatoes are washed, so I can just slice these up. I need to grab out from the freezer our sausages so that those can thaw. I think they're in here. Yes, and I think I'm gonna grab 2 out because whatever we don't end up having for the party, you know, we'll cook up and then I'll turn it into some other dish, kind of meal prep for Josh and I for the rest of the week. I don't really know what I have planned, menu planned for the rest of the week, so might as well cook up these and hopefully we'll have some leftovers. I'm gonna get these directly into the fridge. We'll let those thaw in the refrigerator and they should be thawed by tomorrow. So, kitchen is clean. All the meal prep is done. I have not set up outside the canopy or the tables or anything like that. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Oh, I wanted to show you. I didn't want to do any cooking for dinner, so I pulled out some red enchiladas for dinner so I can pop those in the oven for Josh for dinner tonight, and I don't have to worry about cooking because I already kind of have the kitchen clean. I really am not gonna have to do any cooking tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna have to grill the sausages and the hamburgers, and then I am going to make the whipped cream for the galette, but all the cooking is done. We just need to set up for tomorrow, so that's gonna be fun. Because I have to go buy propane, now I'm kind of thinking maybe I wanna get a few decorations. I don't know, we'll see what ends up happening. Maybe, oh wait, tomorrow's the 4th of July, so I would have to go out tonight because I don't think the stores are gonna be open on the 4th of July. I feel like they'd be closed. Maybe Josh on the way home will have to pick up some propane. We'll see. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. If you are new, please consider subscribing because tomorrow we are gonna pull this entire dinner party together. And I just am super grateful you are here and that you kind of were along the journey to see how I'm throwing together a last minute dinner party. I do have a couple appetizers that I want to make for tomorrow. And I should have all the things that I need, and I'll do that tomorrow, but I think for today, we're gonna call it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. I'll pop a couple of my other videos here. You can go watch between now and my next upload. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friend.